begin offering free access to the MyStrength platform for anyone living, working, or receiving any form of services within the county. So today we wanted to focus on, again, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and because TRC is one of the fiercest advocates for helping to improve the quality of lives for individuals with disabilities as well as their families, we wanted to take this time, again, really to remind you to take some time to take care of yourself. So, in terms of today, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with a gratitude meditation, just kind of show you a little bit about what some of the resources that are on MyStrength, what some of the resources that you can take advantage of. We'll also talk about burnout versus compassion fatigue, how these things tend to impact us at work, and then what I'll do is I'll finish off with doing a high-level overview of the platform, and then talking about how you and members of your family can sign up for a free account. Okay, so bear with me here 1 second, because we're gonna do a little meditation. Let me just sort of quit my Outlook. Bear with me 1 second, team. Oh gosh, I think it closed my other screen I had up, so 1 second. Okay, provide incognito window, and let's just grab this here. Here it is. Sorry team, I had this all up and ready to go, and then I, finger flubbed and closed the entire thing. Ay, ay, ay.
It happens that way.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hold on. It's going to come on up for us. All right. So, team, what I want you to do is just kind of take a moment, relax, sort of settle in, and let's just take the next 3 minutes and focus on ourselves. So I'll go ahead and play this gratitude meditation, and if you guys really like this, I'm going to send it to Heather and John. Here we go.
This is a MyStrength guided gratitude meditation. Start by taking 3 deep, cleansing breaths. Breathe in and push all that air out. Breathe in as deep as you can. And breathe all that air out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, think back to what you wrote that you were grateful for. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, either say out loud or to yourself, "I'm so grateful for," and name what you wrote. Deep breath in, and say, "I'm so grateful for," as you exhale. Breathe in fresh air. Breathe out your gratitude. With each breath, see your gratitude floating out into the world, each molecule of air infusing the world with more gratitude. Breathe in clean, crisp air. breathe out, repeating, I'm so grateful for, and releasing your gratefulness into the world. Now simply focus on saying to yourself, I really appreciate, and then your idea. Say it slowly. Say it forcefully. Say it playfully. Say it deeply. And then just say to yourself, I so appreciate, with your own ending. Now take 3 final deep breaths. Imagine this time that when you inhale, you are drawing on all the gratitude you and others have helped put out into the world. Feel the gratitude pool deep inside of you, a part of you. And then exhale with a smile. And just say out loud to yourself, thank you, on your exhale. Thank you. Feel the warmth around you, the gratitude and appreciation and thanks radiating out from you. Enjoy this feeling. Thank you.
Okay, so hopefully everyone had a moment just to practice with us a little bit of self-care. I hope that I didn't put everybody to sleep. I hope you're still with me. But again, I mean, really being able to do our job is making sure that we are taking care of ourselves. So let me bring up my slides here. And let's talk a little bit about the difference between burnout versus compassion fatigue versus maybe chronic stress. So burnout is the manifestation of unaddressed behavioral health conditions at work. You often hear this term as opposed to depression or anxiety because it's less stigmatizing. At its core, burnout is characterized by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and ineffectiveness in the workplace, and chronic negative responses to stressful workplace conditions. Burnout is not a clinical term, but rather seen when the demands of the job outweigh a person's ability to cope with it. Burnout can wipe out our sense of worth, our ambition, and idealism. Burnout is distinct. It is not considered an acute stress reaction, a secondary trauma, or compassion fatigue. Burnout really fits into the category of depression. So how many of us are experiencing burnout? Well, studies show that up to 67% of helping professionals report symptoms associated with burnout. Chronic stress. Chronic stress is defined as any stimulus that disrupts the body's internal balance, also known as physiological homeostasis. From an evolutionary perspective, the stress reaction really makes sense. It was made to protect us from dangers, to get us keyed up, hyper alert, and able to respond to immediate threats. So, as an example, I'm sure many of you have heard this before, but if I was being chased by a bear or a tiger, it actually benefits me to experience a burst of hormones to help me run for my life and escape threat. So in other words, put the flight or fight or flight response. So the system that controls reactions to stress and regulates many body processes, including digestion, the immune system, mood and emotion, sexuality, and storage and expenditure, is known as the hypothalamic pituitary adrenaline axis. That's how it is in its fancy title. So in our previous scenario, we talked about a threat of being chased by a bear or a tiger. And so once that threat is gone, the system would recover and set back to normal. So it was ready for the next threat. Acute stress comes and goes episodically. With chronic stress, many people experience a chronic state in which they feel very stressed. This also consecutively really puts it really impacts how we physically react as well to chronic stress. So some things you may have noticed as you think about times where you were overwhelmed, feeling chronic stress. You may have had muscle tension, chest pain, fatigue, a change in your libido, your stomach was upset, maybe you had sleep problems. And it goes without saying that being stressed gives you less energy to do all of the things that you care about. Now, compassion fatigue. With compassion fatigue, the symptoms mimic what we see in people who are suffering from chronic stress. However, there are a couple of key differences. With compassion fatigue is an extreme state of tension and preoccupation with the suffering of those being helped, to the degree that it can create a secondary traumatic stress event for individuals. So the symptoms of compassion fatigue, some of these might sound familiar, but apathy. So for example, feeling burdened when clients or patients come in to present to the agency for services, struggling to effectively complete your tasks at work, possibly difficulty with concentration, isolation, nightmares, bottling up emotions, and even going as far as blaming others for their suffering and distress, and ultimately engaging in unhealthy activities as a form of coping with the symptoms. So maybe increasing drinking, gambling, overeating. It can folks do a myriad of things. Depression is a widespread problem for our workforce, and due to the stigma, lack of access to care, again, preaching to the choir over here, or the attitude of I can handle it myself, or even some of the challenges or barriers around cost. If it goes untreated or undertreated, what we typically see is that 72% of the workforce is struggling with depression. So what that means is that 3 in 4 employees with depression go without treatment that can improve their quality of life. The fact that mental health causes more days of work loss and health impairment than chronic conditions really can create a monumental challenge for employers. So a lot of times you may hear, for some folks, oh gosh, she's calling out again, or she's been out for several weeks. I mean, while we don't know exactly what may be going on, it is not unlikely that is due to struggling with depression. I can speak from personal experience. My husband suffers with, or he was recently diagnosed with lupus, also has a history of depression and anxiety. And when he was able to work, there would sometimes be 2, maybe 3 weeks where he was struggling, and so he was unable to go into work. So let's talk about MyStrength and how you can utilize it for your own resiliency and self-care. So I know lots of folks on the phone may remember MyStrength when I went out to TRC many moons ago. But for in case we have some new folks on the line, let me first start off by defining MyStrength. So the way that I define MyStrength is I define MyStrength as an online health and wellness tool that utilizes evidence-based tools and resources to really help support the well-being of the whole person. And so when we say the well-being of the whole person, we're talking about mind, body, and spirit. Now, for, again, those of you who have at TRC who have been with us for quite a while, may see that we have grown in the content and the resources that are currently available on the site. So right now you have approximately 12 interactive applications that range from stress reduction, managing your depression and anxiety, improving your sleep, mindfulness and meditation, coping with chronic pain. And most recently, we released over the past, the last part of 2020, we released resources specifically around bipolar disorder, nicotine recovery, trauma and PTSD, resources specifically for first responders. And then we also have resources on the platform specific to COVID-19. So when we talk about the evidence-based tools and resources on the platform, we're talking about, we utilize evidence-based modalities such as cognitive behavioral therapy, motivational interviewing, positive psychology, behavioral activation. For those of you who are familiar with DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, we have all of those resources on the site. But again, as a reminder, MyStrength is meant to address the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And so on the site, not only will you find resources specific to the interactive applications that I just highlighted, but you'll also find general access to resources specifically around wellness, spirituality, and community. So how does MyStrength help me? So a couple things. We touched on the fact that it is evidence-based tools and resources. So simply said, you never have to worry about the integrity of the resources that you are receiving from MyStrength. The MyStrength platform is multi-condition and holistic, and it is continuing to grow with the number of resources that we have on the site. And let me just highlight, this is what differentiates MyStrength from some of the other behavioral health technology apps, is that on MyStrength, you can go on to find resources and techniques to help you with sleep, coping with stress, anxiety, depression, so on and so forth. With some of our competitors, they may focus on just mindfulness and meditation, or they may focus on depression and anxiety. So many of them are very singular in terms of the topics and resources that they focus on. But the other piece that really distinguishes the MyStrength platform from all of those other apps that you see out there is that, team, based on the information that you input into the system, in the back we have a learning engine. And so what this learning engine is doing is taking in your inputted information, interpreting it, applying it, and then presenting you with personalized resources that are specific to you as an individual. So one of the most common examples I'd like to use is, let's say John and I signed up for MyStrength, and we both said that we wanted to improve our overall sleep patterns and reduce our stress. Well, the resources that are going to be presented to John are going to be completely different than the resources that are going to be presented to me. So, again, that's the other piece about MyStrength, is that the resources are personalized to you. The site is fully web and mobile responsive, and so what that means is that if you log on to the MyStrength web platform from your iPhone or Android phone, the entire site is going to shrink down to the size of that phone and allow you to easily navigate. Consecutively, we also have the MyStrength mobile app that you can download for free from the Apple or the Google Play Store. And I have some exciting updates that are going to be coming in July that I'll share with you towards the end of today's presentation. We talked about the personalization of the platform. Because it's a web and mobile-based platform, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The MyStrength site is safe and secure. So for those of you who may have registered prior to today, you probably remember that we are not collecting any PHI information. We are not collecting any PHI information. So when you register, we're asking first name only. We're asking you to give yourself a nickname. We're asking your date of birth, identify your gender, and relationship status. That's it. That's all we're asking. Oh, and we're asking you for an email and create a password so that you can access the site. Most importantly, TRC staff, I want to make sure that you guys know we are not doing any reporting. We are not doing any reporting on your utilization or engagement of the platform. Again, Chautauqua County, as well as your wellness team, really just wants to make sure that you guys have tools and resources in your hands to use when you need it. Okay. All right, so I have one more activity for you guys just to sort of round us out here. Again, I want to, just kind of show you some of the resources on MyStrength. But let me go ahead and log into the site because I want to be able to show you just some high-level pieces that I think you might find helpful. So this is the login page. And again, guys, we're going to get you the flyers so you'll know how to log in. You'll know your access code. So we're asking for your email address and then for the password that you used at registration. And then you click the blue login button. And so what happens at that point is that MyStrength begins to log you into the site. Now, you see here in this top blue box, you have two options to begin engaging with the resources that are on MyStrength. Now, you see here where it says the guided path or guide me. This is the tab on your home screen where you'll find all of those personalized resources specific to you. Whereas if you go into the Discover Something New, that is our entire library of resources. So a couple things here. So you can see right now I'm focused on mindfulness and meditation. But if I go up to the top and click on the ellipsis and then scroll up, I can easily move to, my focus for today, coping during COVID, managing my depression, controlling anxiety, reducing stress, balancing intense emotions. Again, if we have any clinical folks on the line, that is what we're using to identify the dialectical behavioral therapy resources. Pregnancy and early parenting, improving sleep, moving beyond trauma, managing chronic pain, drug and alcohol recovery, opioid recovery, nicotine recovery, and bipolar disorder. So again, team, you can choose from any of the pieces here. I'll keep it on just mindfulness and meditation super quick, and I'm going to click the blue continue button. So as I click the blue continue button, what's going on is I'm going to be entered into my specific guided path. Now, team, what distinguishes the guided path from all of the other resources on the site, again, is that the guided path is made specifically for you. But then consecutively with the guided path, we are providing you with 5 resources that you can do in the moment. So the nice thing is, you know, as you maybe think, as the weather is getting beautiful out there in Western New York, if you happen to be on a break, you could just kind of go out and, you know, pop in your earphones and just take time and, again, you know, practice self-care. So as you click into each of these, you'll either be presented with a video or a small article or an activity for MyStrength. Okay.
Yvette?
Lastly, just a couple things. I'm going to come into the Discover Something New, and I'm going to click the search tab here. So the Discover Something New is where you can just go and if you just want to just pull resources, like you're not sure where you want to start. So if I go, you know, I could come in here at the top box, I could type in stress and then click the magnifying glass on the right. Once I do that, MyStrength will pull a wealth of resources for me to take a look at. Again, some of these are videos, some of them are short articles, and then some of them are inspirational quotes there, okay? Lastly, let me just kind of scroll down a little bit here. Just to show you where some of the additional topics that we've added. So again, coping during COVID. So you can access it here, or if you want to do it under your guided path over here, you can do that as well. This is where you'll also find the resources for first responders. We just also recently added managing chronic conditions, facing racism and discrimination. We've also expanded the LGBTQIA resources there as well. So lastly, let me just show one more thing to you guys, because just in case you or members of your family prefer to have content in Spanish, just go back to your homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you can flip the site from English to Spanish and or back to English again. Okay. Now let's talk about how we register for an account.
Yvette, can I interrupt you for just a minute and let you know we have about 7 minutes left?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep, that's I'm going to finish this up right
Perfect.
here, and then see if there's any questions, and we could go from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Heather will make sure to disseminate these flyers out to the team. But this is going to be your sign up flyer. So essentially what you're going to do, team, is you're going to go to www.mystrength.com. You're going to click the sign up button that's going to be on the top right hand side of your web page. And then when you're asked for the access code, it's right here, TRC star. TRC star. It is all one word. And it is not case sensitive, okay? So once you enter that access code, what will happen is you'll start the onboarding registration process. You'll take the PHQ-9 and or GAD-7, which is just standard. What we use for the entire platform. You'll tell the system, you know, what is the pieces of content that you are interested in having the platform delivered to you. So now the other thing is, again, because we've been partners for a really long time, TRC, some of you may have registered for a MyStrength account a couple years ago, and if you're like me, I don't remember my password ever. So if that is you, you can reach me. I'll just verbally say it here, and then Heather and John, again, can also forward you my email. My email is Yvette with a Y, so YBETTE.Garcia@teledochealth.com. That's teledochealth.com. So shoot me a quick email. Say, hey, Yvette, can you reset my password? This is the email that I used. It takes me not even 30 seconds to head over to the site, pull up your previous account and unlock it so that you guys can have access to it. All right. But that's all I got for you guys. Any questions? Anything that I can answer? Oh, come on, TRC, give me something. I haven't spoken to you guys in forever.
I think this was great because I think a lot of times we forget the tools that we have that we can use, that we can tap into. So I think this refresher was really, really good.
Perfect. And Heather and John, what I'll do is I'll send you just a copy of the presentation. We didn't get to do the last mindfulness and meditation video that I wanted to do, but I'll send it to you. And the link is right in the notes section, so folks can just copy, paste it. You will have to log into your account, but once you're in, it brings up the video right away for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yvette.
You're welcome. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, an awesome weekend. I hope there's some barbecues going on in Western New York. So, so you send me pictures of your barbecue. I'll send you pictures from St. Beach. And then we'll make an awesome Zoom background.
Nice.
Perfect. I like it.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thanks
for letting me run in. Bye.